day of a 10-day mission. The crew is now headed back to Earth. Something tells us their time in space will never be eclipsed. So I want to talk about that. Here with me is a former NASA chief astronaut, Robert Hoot Gibson. He's also the author of Space Ace, a combat pilot's journey from Vietnam to space. Hoot, I'm so glad you're here. I mean, the president making it clear tonight that his mission for NASA and U.S. space flight is to establish a presence on the moon and eventually go to Mars. So how is Artemis II making that even closer to reality?
Well, great question, and it's an important step, a big important step. You know, we had Artemis I, which verified that indeed the Space Launch System rocket, the SLS rocket, Artemis program has the power and the ability to take us there, but now we're doing it with a crew. And we've seen that we learned some things about the vehicle that we didn't know before, and that always happens in a flight test of an aircraft or a spacecraft. And so we are learning what it is to operate the Orion vehicle with crew on board, and that's an important step leading into, of course, the next couple of Artemis missions and that establishment of a base on the moon.
You heard what astronaut Jeremy Hansen had to say about the far side of the moon. I mean, his observations about Earth's gravity and how it had an impact on the side that we are able to see, those craters and beyond, versus on the other side. What does that tell you?
It tells us that we really need more observation of the moon itself up close, like they've been doing, because the side of the moon that faces us is the side that's always facing us, and so what's on the other side of it is more difficult to study and to ascertain. And these are some of the things that we're going to be accomplishing with the Artemis program.
The crew spent about 45 minutes tonight without communication to Earth. Now, that was planned. They knew it was going to happen, a known factor of being on that far side of the moon. But listen to Victor Glover describe how that felt.
I said a little prayer, but then I had to keep rolling. I was actually recording scientific observations of the far side of the moon. You know, that is actually the time when we were the farthest and the closest to the moon. And so we were really able to make some of our most detailed observations of the far side of the moon up close. And so we were busy up here working really hard. And I must say, it was actually quite nice.
No rest for the weary, I see, but that little prayer, that staying focused, the observations. I mean, tell me what you think, those 40 minutes without contact with the Earth, what must that have been like to have that special time? I mean, these astronauts, 4 of them, and the moon.
When you have the kind of confidence in your vehicle and in your mission and in the everyone that participates and helps this mission flow forward, you're not really going to get too awfully worried. In fact, we had places over the Earth in the space shuttle program around the Indian Ocean where we were out of contact with mission control. And the other thing to keep in mind too is that the crew's trained to be autonomous. Now, we want to have mission control with us, but if we don't have them, we've trained to be able to handle anything that we're going to encounter without mission control. And so sometimes it's a good break to not have them bothering us constantly.
I think there are so many parents out there who are thinking, is there a way for you to bottle that 40 minutes of peace? We'll see how that goes in the long run. Hoot Gibson, thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura.
Up next, the breaking news out of